Genesis 5:24. Vayitchalek Hanoch et ha'Elohim, va'enenu ki lakach oto Elohim. And the subject is Enoch, and Enoch walked or was walking with the God, and was not he, for subject is God, God had taken him. Vayitchalech. This comes from He, Lamed, Kaf, to walk, and we saw it used in the Hitpael stem a couple of verses ago. Here it's in the Vav consecutive imperfect 3ms with the subject spelled out. And it's not real common for halach to be in Hitpael, but we saw it also in Genesis 3, but there it was in the participle form. And in any case, perhaps because of walking around in the garden, maybe we take it in the sense here of Enoch was walking around with God. The other verb, lakach, pretty straightforward. It's a kal perfect. And one of the things that's interesting is in the function here, we can see the narrative part of the verse uses the Vav consecutive imperfect, the narrative tense, whereas in the commentary part of the verse, what we would expect is what we see, the use of the perfect form. And in the definite direct object marker here, we have the 3ms pronominal suffix, and then a very different form in the negative particle. We also have here the 3ms pronominal suffix. And what's interesting is this particle, it would look the same if we had the 1CP. That is, we have to decide that after the energic noon, is it a nu, like anachnu, or is it a nu holding the vav for the 3ms? And it's not too tricky. We can see this is referring back to the antecedent, Enoch. Because Enoch is in the genealogy of death, and there's no report of his death, there was enormous interpretation in the Second Temple period. And here we see the Septuagint, very interpretive, using, he was well-pleasing to God as a gloss on to walk with God, and then he was not found, for God transferred him. So very interpretive, almost like a targum here in the Septuagint. And we can see that the author of Hebrews, who always quotes from the Septuagint, follows in this by saying, that God, he was not found because God had transferred him, because he was well-pleasing to God. You can see a number of our modern translations have done the right thing by putting these in quotes, but perhaps the better gloss here is translated him that the traditional translation uses from Hebrews 11:5. In any case, we can see the New Testament affirmed some of the interpretive sensibilities of the Septuagintal translators. Though they were very creative in their translation, it goes in a direction that winds up being authorized by the New Testament.